Getting Answers, the entrepreneur show that's about getting answers to the questions that you have as an entrepreneur or professional. Getting Answers, the entrepreneur show that's about getting answers to the questions.
Hi, and welcome to our show. My name is Curtis Brooks, and this is Getting Answers, the entrepreneur show that's about getting answers to the questions that you have as an entrepreneur or professional. Today, our focus is on employee engagement, and we're really talking about millennials. And it's a subject matter that most of us really want to shy away from because we just, in some cases, feel that we're not ready. But more specifically, we're talking to the CEOs and we're talking to the business owners because we need to recognize that at some point we will be giving up the throne, if you will, fortunate or unfortunately, to the millennials. And it may be a hard task, a hard situation, or just a dilemma that we're going through. But the reality of it is that we will be giving up the seat. And what better place to give up the seat or opportunity to give up the seat in a place where we can prepare the millennials. And I know a lot of times we feel that they're not ready, or we believe that they're not ready. And I want to just say I don't necessarily believe that's true. I think they're a very smart group of people. They are just in the know with a lot of different things. Perhaps there is some guidance that we could give to them as leaders, as innovators. And I think that's what they need. They need the guidance. And again, just because they don't have the guidance doesn't mean they're not capable. And much like you and me, we were deemed not capable at one time in our career, or maybe at some point people are still saying that we're not capable for many different reasons, but nevertheless, we've had to go out and prove that we're capable. And by either starting our own business or being a success in some venture, it could be many different reasons and why, but nevertheless, it's our turn to just share with the millennials that, hey, you guys are capable, and here's why. So in this broadcast or this stream here, I'm going to be talking about why we need, why employing, I forgot the title of the show here, but why employee engagement will work for your organization. Again, why will employee engagement work for your organization? And I wrote down 4 reasons, and we're going to touch bases on each of those reasons. The first one is increase productivity. The second will be employees are encouraged. What better way to get someone to work, or at least involve them in something or engage them in something, by encouraging them. So we're going to touch bases on that, and then we're going to touch bases on the important things to you and I, the bottom line. And we're going to touch bases on this final pointer here, and that's going to be, it's not always about money. And sometimes as CEOs and business owners such as myself and you, we think about the bottom line. Often we do. How can we shave costs? How can we cut the costs and different things? But I'm going to give you reasons why it's not always about the bottom line. So with that being said, my name is Curtis Brooks. I am a transformational speaker and the authority and the area of employee engagement. So if you'd like more information about what I do and how we do it, you can contact me at the phone number that's on the screen here, or my website. That's going to be www.iamcurtisbrooks.com for more information about what we do as the authority and employee engagement. So contact me there, or you can send me a direct email. My email address is going to be bookme, that's BOOKME, at iamcurtisbrooks.com for more information about what we do here at our organization. So once again, increased productivity is one of the biggest reasons. Again, there's several different reasons because we're all different. Our business needs are different, and products are different, or services that we offer are completely different, and I get that. But the bottom line is that whatever capacity your organization is working in, increased productivity is going to be one of the reasons why employee engagement will work for your organization. That's just one of the reasons. And why do we want increased productivity? Because I think the bottom line is, we're not talking about financials right now, but the bottom line for increased productivity is that when it's working for your organization, it's working. Everyone's happy. And it doesn't mean that they're happy to the place where just everything is just so wonderful, but I think that there's something to be said about accomplishing something. There's something to be said about meeting those goals, meeting those deadlines, and not meaning that you're necessarily pressed or you're on the edge and I almost made it, or I didn't complete the deadline. What I'm meaning is that there is just something to be said about accomplishing your goal, whereas that you or your employees are encouraged. There's a lot to be said about that. And so often, from the CEOs to the business owners, we are encouraging our employees sometimes from what we're going through, from the challenges that we're going through. And this is small, big, or large. And maybe the impact is not so much, you don't necessarily feel the impact necessarily in a large business, but you do. At some point, it does eventually ripple down to a place where from the CEOs, the executives, and the junior executives, there's a rippling effect of just issues that will cause the organization to become stagnant. And what better way to encourage your organization through regular just levels of encouragement, talking to them, engaging your employees, engaging your staff, be it management. If you are managing a staff of 20 managers, what better way to encourage your staff by recognizing the work that they're doing? And when we recognize the work that they're doing, and again, encouraging them, acknowledging them, there is increased productivity. So why not look at that? Let's look at that from a place of how it works for us, how we are able to get things done. When we are encouraged, we can get more done. When we've got issues going on, our personal issues, we may not necessarily feel as accomplished, or that we feel like getting the work done. Knowing that there's work to get done or to be done, we may not necessarily feel that I'm feeling up to this. So let's look at it from a point or perspective that we're taking ourselves out the picture, if you will. That we're looking at what we're trying to instill into our employees. Because the objective for this employee engagement is that the more involved we can get the employee, the more engaged we can get the employee into recognizing or acknowledging that, hey, we need you. I need you. This organization needs you. The more and more we can acknowledge the employee from that level, from that perspective, the more and more we can see that this employee engagement does work. Because now I've encouraged my employee or employees, my subordinates, if you will, and now through that encouragement, I have the ability to help them maximize their own potential. See, when we think about it just for the organization, sure, they're working for us and they're getting a wage. But when we think about the engagement just solely on what they can do for us, it's really a one-sided relationship. Truly it is. And I would suspect that a lot of employees feel that way. I did an article a little while ago. How far am I? I did an article a little while ago as it relates to employee engagement, and I spoke about how the old open door policy back in the 80s, I believe, late 80s, mid to late 80s, the old open door policy that the HR, they just really talk, oh, we have an open door policy. And I would invite you to read the article. You can find it on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn name is going to be I am Curtis Brooks. Again, you can find it under LinkedIn. The article talks about employee engagement. I can't remember the name of the article, but the point of it is that there was this thing about employee engagement that we've been talking, or this thing about the open door policy that human resources were talking about just years ago, and in I think the early mid 80s to late 80s, and they just talked about it. And in the article, I addressed some, I think, key points where I think it was just really a cover-up. I think it was just a cover-up for something bigger, for them to really get to some point where they were just releasing the senior employees, and the more, I guess, less experienced employees could come in for a lesser wage, if you will. And I think in a lot of ways we are still paying for that. The workforce, and again, regardless of what capacity or level of service that you offer, or what services or production that you may offer, I think that it's just permeated all throughout the workforce, because no one trusts managers anymore. No one trusts the leadership anymore. And it doesn't mean that the leadership is not effective. It doesn't mean that the leadership doesn't have something to say that's worthwhile listening to. I think the overall consensus is that we don't trust you. I don't feel comfortable about giving my opinion about this organization in lieu of that there'll be some kind of retaliation as it relates to what I'm sharing, and potentially lose my job. And you find some kind of loophole, and now I've lost my job. And the hopes of initially making a bad situation into a better situation, a lot of employees have lost trust in leadership. They've lost trust in management. They've lost trust in the employer or the establishment in itself. And it really is, again, has permeated throughout the entire system, because, I mean, do you blame them? Do you blame them, really? And it's kind of like someone buying a bad product, or, bad service, getting bad service. And how we know as business owners and CEOs that how the horrible service doesn't stop there with the person who requested the services, but it goes on like a rippling effect to just challenge the very structure of the establishment, because the word is going out that, hey, I received a bad service. And it's important that if we can understand the fact that, hey, you know what, let's take care of these customers. Let's take care of our customers, so that what they're sharing is the good news about our service, about what we have to offer, or about our product. So if we can understand that, how concentrated a bad service is in regards to how many people will share the bad news about that service. If we can understand that, how much more is it that we are able to understand the fact that if we take care of our employees, the good word will spread. Maybe not as rapid as the negative news, but the good word will spread. Hey, I work for a great organization. And through that, we get increased productivity. It really isn't rocket science. I think it's just a matter of us, as CEOs and business owners, wanting to cut some things out of our bottom line, if you will, so that at least they don't affect our bottom line. We want to curb different costs. And eventually, the cost that we're incurring is the relationships that we should be having with our employees. Perhaps your organization is too big. Well, how do you have a relationship with all these employees? I understand that it's a huge task, but even at certain levels, different levels, you as the CEO, you may not be able to have those direct relationships with every last employee, but you can direct your staff. You can have your subordinates be in charge of, again, creating that environment that's going to be conducive to a healthy workplace. Again, talking about increased productivity. It's not a rocket science. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure it out. If you put something good into it, you're going to get something good out. Even if you don't get something good in return, we as CEOs and business owners or individuals who know and who have accomplished your goal is that it may not work today, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep just casting that line into the water. I didn't get anything today, but I'm going to keep casting that hook into the water. And eventually I'll be able to catch something. And even if it's not what you're looking for, you and I, being the CEO and business owners of our respective organizations, we have the ability to instruct for change and for a greater purpose. Employees are encouraged. I touched bases on that briefly. What better way to encourage your employees through a word of hope? And I mentioned moments ago in regards to a one-way relationship, and oftentimes that's exactly what's going on. We feel as in CEOs and employers that, and business owners, that, okay, I'm paying you for a wage. I'm paying you a wage, and do your job. Just do your job. But the reality of it is that that's what's been working for so long. And that's how most of us operate. But here is the reality that that doesn't work anymore. We're dealing with people who are alive. They're of flesh and bones just like you and I. And recognize the issues and challenges that we have in our own personal lives. Our employees, our subordinates may not be having those same issues, but they're people, they're human beings, and they're going through issues. Life happens. And so when we make room for those mishaps, if you will, and I understand that we have a business to operate, I totally get that. But in the midst of trying to do business, we need to bring more of the human part into business so that business can go on as usual. And it's not a whole lot that I need to say about that, because I think if we take an opportunity to look at ourselves and be able to just think about the challenges that we had and how much the encouragement played in our own in our personal lives, as well as it played into our professional lives. How much did the encouragement help us in our professional lives? And again, to include our personal lives. So if we understand that, how much will the encouragement help those who are working for us? Our employees, our subordinates. How much will the encouragement help them so that they are increasing, being engaged, and our partners are, be it indirect partners or partners are directly connected to our organization, everyone's happy. And see, that's just another, that's a bigger picture. And I think we forget about that. We stop at a place where we don't concentrate on the fact how this ripples, how this rippling effect, how that when you have employees who are not engaged for whatever reason, when they're not engaged, it not only affects us directly, but it also affects us indirectly, because perhaps you're putting out product that is not of quality, a product that we're not necessarily accustomed to, or at least a level of quality. So initially they put the product out on the line and it gets to the consumer. The consumer has a complaint now. The consumer may even file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. I don't know. But again, its effect is rippling. Again, directly, obviously, but also indirect. And it's just something that we need to remember. So how much more, if we understand as CEOs and business owners, if we understand the power of being encouragement, how much more will our own employees and subordinates understand it? So it's something to think about. Bottom line. Our bottom line is always important to us. We're always thinking about it. And we will risk nothing in most cases that we will open a door, at least cause something to affect that bottom line. We will let nothing come in the way of that bottom line. And we've done such a good job at it that it's in turn affected business. It has affected business. The very thing that we decided that we were not going to allow to happen, it's actually happening, because we have been so focused on the bottom line. And again, not to say that the bottom line is not important. It's very important. It's very important. Even if you have just a simple lemonade stand as a child. I had several lemonade stands, but nevertheless, the bottom line is very important. I get it. But at the risk of disconnecting ourselves with our employees or our subordinates, we in turn risk the bottom line. We are essentially giving our employees, as an old biblical phrase, less straw, and saying, I need you to produce more. I need you to make more bricks, if you will. But I'm going to give you less of a product. And the product may not necessarily be something tangible, but again, sometimes we're so focused on the bottom line that we're not necessarily taking what's tangible, the thing that we can see and touch, but we're taking away the thing that that's considered intangible, and that is the encouragement. Folks, encouragement is going to go a long way. It's not about just cracking a whip all the time. And again, back to that biblical phrase, how the children of Israel were required to make more brick or produce more with less product. So it's not always about cracking the whip and saying, I need more, I need more, I need more. And truly, the only reason or the way that you're going to get more, if we do less of the demand, but more of understanding and encouragement. How many of us as CEOs are encouraged through someone demanding us? I demand for you to do this. I'm going to give you less pay, but yet I need more. I need more of you. And the reality, there are many realities, but as people, we're all going through something. We're all going through some different challenge, big or small. So let's remember, encouragement does work, and encouragement will bring you and your organization to be more effective, to increase more, higher levels of productivity. Wow. Let's build relationships, folks. Let's remember to build relationships. I hear that so often across the internet. Relationship, relationship, relationship. So let's put it in practice. Let's not allow it to be just keywords or the windows of opportunity. And yet we realize that there's in fact no opportunity behind the door, such as the old phrase back in the mid to late 80s, the old open door policy. The open door policy. So let's remember to take action and build the relationships that so many of us are talking about. I see the different postings on Twitter. I see the different postings on LinkedIn. So let's take action and make sure that that is our commission. And that is to build relationships. Because when you build relationships, you can easily get the productivity. You can easily get your bottom line. And now I'm talking about financials. But what happens when my next point, what happens when it's not always about money? What happens when your employee is not encouraged by money or with the idea of making more money? And this is the interesting thing, because so many organizations, we are essentially enticing our employees to more productivity. We need more of you. So we've got this, we've got this, we've got this club, we've got this gift card. We've got this gift for you for 20 years of service or 10 years of service, whatever the case might be. And we're essentially enticing our employees. And there are just some people who are just not enticed by the gifts. There are some people who are just not enticed by the money, the idea of making more money. Some people like their jobs, believe it or not. Not everyone is in a place where they're just disappointed with their job. And I get it. There are probably more people who are in a place where they don't like their job than there are people who like their job. So I get that. I see the disparity in that. I understand that. But here's the thing. What if we were to consider a different avenue in regards to, again, recognizing that every employee is not enticed by money? What if? What if we could dig deeper into that? And I'm going to venture to say that that's a real issue. Everyone is not enticed or, going to go bananas or bonkers for more money. Some people are just a little bit more deeper than that, I should say. Quality versus quantity, I should say. How do we get to those employees? Well, it takes really a special manager, a special boss or business owner. It takes being able to be relatable. It takes being able to understand that, yes, money does allow us to get things, but again, everyone is not enticed by money or the gifts. So what do? That's when we have to go on the inside. That's when we have to find out, or at least tap into the muster of all of us. That's that very thing that kept us still in the midst of our own trials. That very place that we've had to go to at times, or at least we were drawn to when life was a mess at times. And we've got to learn how to channel that energy, that very energy when things were not looking so good for us, or looking bleak in most cases. So we've got to learn how to channel that energy into those employees who are not necessarily moved by money, because there are truly deeper things in life. And part of what we're supposed to be doing as CEOs and business owners, we're supposed to be helping those employees realize their potential. And if we're enticing them and enticing those employees, they're never going to realize their potential. It's like a carrot being dangled in their face, if you will. And some of us don't want the carrot. Some of us do. But some of your greatest employees are not going to be moved by the carrot. And I would venture to say a good percentage of your most loyal and awesome employees are going to be moved with the relationship here, a connection that we must make. And granted, everyone may not want that connection, again, being relatable to people. And we've got to be okay with that as well. But when we make the connection with people, this is the relationships that work. These are the businesses that are around for years, 50, 20 years, 100 years. Because they're relatable to people. They understand. So why not cultivate our workplace in such a manner? And even for the people who say they don't, or at least, they may not say it, but don't necessarily get into the mushiness of life and all of those things. They need it too. They won't tell you that they need it, but we've got to make a connection as CEOs and business owners to our employees, to our subordinates, for all the right reasons. Increased productivity, employee engagement, your bottom line, for all the right reasons. So if you're asking the question, will employee engagement work for my organization? Sure it will. But you must work it. You must realize that, hey, this is my bottom line. This is my bottom line, directly and indirectly. My bottom line, your bottom line, is attached to your employee engagement. Wow, great. Folks, my name is Curtis Brooks. Once again, I am a transformational speaker, and me and my team, we work with organizations in the areas of employee engagement. So we would love to be a part of your organization and doing an assessment and at least coming to a conclusion. Hey, what do you need to do to change the outlook so that it is not so bleak, but yet it begins to turn around for you and the promises begin to look very hopeful. So with that being said, give us a call. Phone number is on the screen, 817-768-8604. We are here in Fort Worth, Texas. Again, contact us for more information. My website is www.iamcurtisbrooks.com, or you can email me directly at bookme, that's BOOKME, at iamcurtisbrooks.com. Would love to hear from you in the area of employee engagement, and we can see what we can do for you. So again, contact us for more information. My name is Curtis Brooks. Thank you and good day.